The internet is exploding. In a digital landscape where rumors travel faster than the speed of light, a storm is gathering over two of Hollywood's most magnetic stars. A storm so potent it threatens to reshape their careers forever. Hollywood is whispering, and for the first time, the whispers have turned into a deafening roar. Something darker may be unfolding behind the curated perfection of red carpets and synchronized Instagram launches. What started as a simple, flickered rumor of a breakup in late 2025 has now morphed into something much bigger, much more personal, and infinitely more damaging. Unverified reports suggest that the silence between Teyana Taylor and Aaron Pierre isn't just about busy schedules or creative differences. Instead, some insiders claim that a massive betrayal has occurred, one that strikes at the very heart of trust and health. According to online speculation and a series of cryptic breadcrumbs left across social media, the public is now questioning if a hidden health crisis was weaponized behind closed doors. Fans believe they've spotted the moment the safe space was violated. While no confirmed evidence has been presented to the public, the narrative is shifting from a tragic romance to a high-stakes legal and personal battleground. Did the Mufasa star hide a devastating secret? Or is this the ultimate character assassination? As the phrase, "he tried to destroy me," begins to trend in the dark corners of celebrity message boards, we have to ask, is this the end of an era, or the beginning of a total industry meltdown? To understand how we got here, we have to look at the players. Teyana Taylor, the mother of the industry, the creative chameleon who turned a high-profile, heartbreaking divorce from NBA star Iman Shumput into a masterclass in resilience. For years, Teyana was the epitome of the strong woman archetype, balancing a grueling career as a director, singer, and actress while raising two daughters in the public eye. When her marriage crumbled in 2023, the world watched a woman reclaim her soft era. She told us she was unarmored. She told us she was ready to receive. Then came Aaron Pierre. The British powerhouse, with the obsidian eyes and a voice that feels like rolling thunder. In 2024, Pierre didn't just enter Hollywood, he conquered it. From the gritty intensity of Rebel Ridge to voicing the most iconic lion in cinema history in Mufasa, Pierre became the internet's top-tier man. He was the apple pie. He was the gentleman who held Teyana like a cup of tea. On the surface, it was the perfect Hollywood pivot. Teyana, the seasoned veteran, and Aaron, the rising king. They were the it couple that didn't need to try. Their chemistry in Teyana's Escape Room visual album was palpable, a sultry, emotional fever dream that felt more like a documentary of their souls than a music video. They shared birthdays, they shared red carpets in London, and they shared a narrative of safety. But even in the brightest light, shadows begin to stretch. By late 2025, the safe space began to feel like a fortress under siege. The first cracks appeared not in the tabloids, but in the silence. The birthday posts stopped being shared. The likes from Teyana's account, once a constant stream of support for Pierre's skyrocketing career, vanished. The world assumed it was just the curse of the busy actor, but behind the scenes, something was simmering. Insiders began to whisper that Teyana's soft era had met a hard reality. The woman who vowed never to build another wall was reportedly seen entering high-end legal offices in New York. The man who was praised for his gentle nature was suddenly absent from the very events he was expected to headline. The public image was a polished mirror, but if you looked closely enough, the glass was starting to spiderweb. The transition from apple pie to public enemy didn't happen overnight. It was a slow burn of subtle deletions and tactical shifts. Fans began to notice that Aaron's sunshine, the way he described his light, seemed to dim in every interview where Teyana's name was mentioned. The warmth was replaced by a rigid, professional distance that felt more like a legal defense than a romantic evolution. As Teyana prepared for a monumental 2026 awards season, with her film one battle after another positioning her as a frontrunner for Best Supporting Actress, the world expected her safe space to be right there by her side. Instead, they found a void. A void that the internet was more than happy to fill with its own, increasingly dark, narratives. As 2026 dawned, the digital underground went into overdrive. Alleged leaks, none of which have been verified by official sources, began to circulate on platforms like Reddit and X. These leaks didn't just suggest a breakup, they suggested a catastrophe. Some fans think that the sudden distance between the two wasn't mutual. They began to point to a series of health-focused posts Teyana began sharing, vague quotes about healing the body from the inside out and protecting your peace from invisible enemies. Reportedly, a private group chat among industry insiders became the breeding ground for a theory that would eventually set the internet on fire, the claim of a hidden health crisis. We must be clear, there is no confirmed evidence, no leaked medical records, and no public statement from either camp confirming such a diagnosis. However, the rumor mill doesn't need facts to create a firestorm. Industry whispers suggested that Teyana felt blindsided by information regarding Aaron's personal history. Claims began to surface that she felt her health, and by extension the stability of her family, had been put at risk. Social media detectives began cross-referencing Aaron's filming schedules with Teyana's dark periods on Instagram. They looked at his men's health interviews and her Sherry Shepherd appearances, searching for the exact moment that apple pie turned sour. The escalation reached a fever pitch when a prominent pop culture commentator posted a blind item suggesting that a rising British A-lister was facing a legal nightmare involving non-disclosure of a chronic condition. The internet didn't just guess who it was, they decided. The comment sections of Aaron Pierre's latest project announcements were suddenly flooded with questions, not about his acting, but about his integrity. Fans are divided. Some believe this is a coordinated smear campaign designed to take down a black man at the height of his powers. Others believe Teyana Taylor has no reason to lie, citing her history of transparency, even when it hurts her. The narrative of, "he tried to destroy me," began to take shape, framed by the idea that a secret of this magnitude isn't just a personal betrayal, it's a career-ending explosive. But then, the fire spread to the most unlikely of places, the 2026 Golden Globes. Amidst the chaos of her breakup, Teyana was seen in a viral moment with none other than Leonardo DiCaprio. While the world was debating her health and Aaron's betrayal, a leaked audio snippet from the ceremony sent shockwaves through the fandom. In the clip, the audio is muffled, but fans are convinced they heard a moment of deep intimacy. According to social media lip readers and alleged leaked room mics, Leo was seen leaning in close to Teyana during a commercial break. The internet claims he didn't just offer condolences. Some fans believe he leaned in and whispered, "It's okay, baby. I've got you." Was this a moment of two co-stars supporting each other, or was it the ultimate revenge move? The leaked audio, unverified and highly debated, suggests a level of closeness that no one saw coming. If the apple pie was truly poisoned, did Teyana find a new, even more powerful, safe space in the arms of Hollywood royalty? Or was this viral moment just another layer of the PR man's strategy designed to shift the narrative away from the darker accusations? The tension finally snapped during what appeared to be a routine Tuesday night in early 2026. Teyana Taylor, the woman who had spent the better part of 2 decades mastering the art of the cool, unbothered aesthetic, went live. But this wasn't the high-production content fans were used to. The screen was black. For the first few moments, there was only the sound of static and the distant hum of a city night. Then came the breathing, heavy, ragged, and thick with an emotion that felt too large for a smartphone speaker. "You give people your soul," the voice, allegedly Teyana's, whispered into the void. "You give them the keys to your house, the keys to your heart, and you think you're being loved. You think you've finally found that safe space everyone talks about. But sometimes, you're just leaving the door open for the devil to walk in. You think you're being cherished, but the truth is, you're being targeted. You're being used as a prop in someone else's rise. The live stream didn't last long, barely 12 minutes, but in the world of digital virality, 12 minutes is an eternity. Thousands of viewers watched in real time, the comment section a blur of, "Are you okay?" and "Tell us who did this." The stream ended abruptly, without a goodbye, leaving a deafening silence in its wake. But the digital ghost remained. Within seconds, screen recordings were being dissected frame by frame. Minutes after the stream cut to black, a cryptic post appeared on her Instagram stories. It was a photo of a shattered porcelain teacup, the very metaphor she had used months earlier to describe how Aaron Pierre handled her heart delicately. The caption was a jagged line of text: "Some burns never heal. They just scar over. I'm choosing me this time. My kids need a mother, not a victim." The internet didn't just react, it imploded. By midnight, Teyana was the #1 trending topic worldwide. This wasn't just a deleted tweet moment, this was a public mourning of a lost safety. Fans began posting "Pray for Teyana" edits, while the accusations against Pierre became more specific and more vitriolic. The emotional weight of the situation felt heavy enough to sink the entire industry. Aaron Pierre, usually so active and engaged with his sunshine and his fans, went dark. His last post, a celebratory image for his upcoming DC project Lanterns, became a digital war zone. People weren't just asking for the truth, they were demanding a confession. The lack of a response was interpreted by many as a silent admission of guilt, while others saw it as the calculated move of a man whose legal team had just hit the panic button. The vigil had begun. Fans stayed up across time zones, refreshing pages, waiting for a statement, a retraction, or another black screen live stream. Every second of silence added another layer of suspicion. The emotional collapse wasn't just Teyana's. It was the collapse of a narrative that millions had invested in. We wanted to believe that the Mufasa star was the hero we saw on screen. We wanted to believe Teyana had finally found her peace. In Hollywood, silence is often louder than a scream. As the rumors of a devastating health betrayal gained traction, the Browns that once fought to be associated with the power couple began a quiet, calculated retreat. This wasn't a public firing. There were no press releases announcing a termination of contracts. It was a re-evaluation of brand direction. It was a scheduling conflict that conveniently removed one name from a high-profile guest list. A major fashion house that had recently featured Teyana and Aaron in a romantic, high-concept campaign quietly archived the photos from their main Instagram feed. If you looked for the safe space visual, it was gone, replaced by solo shots of other models. Public figures who were once seen commenting goals or family on their couple photos suddenly unfollowed both parties, seemingly afraid to be caught in the crossfire of a scandal that felt increasingly radioactive. The industry's elite began to post cryptic quotes of their own. Teyana's longtime creative collaborators shared messages about discernment and the wolf in sheep's clothing. Her mother, a constant presence in her life, shared a post about protecting the lineage from those who don't value life. The breadcrumbs were everywhere, but the main loaf of bread, the official statement, was nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, the mainstream media, usually hungry for any he said, she said story, remained eerily quiet. Major outlets reported on the breakup, but the specific, darker accusations involving health and destruction were handled with 10-foot poles. This silence suggested one of two things. Either the legal teams had issued massive, ironclad, cease and desist orders, or the truth was so explosive that no one wanted to be the first to touch the detonator. Observers of the unfollow patterns noted that Teyana's inner circle had essentially built a wall. When her core team all hit the unfollow button on Aaron Pierre simultaneously, the internet took it as the ultimate confirmation of a deep-seated betrayal. In the world of modern celebrity, an unfollow is the digital equivalent of a restraining order. The industry had made its choice, or at least, it was waiting to see who would survive the fallout. The silence also extended to Pierre's co-stars. The actors who had recently praised his professionalism and kindness on the sets of Mufasa and Rebel Ridge was suddenly unavailable for comment. The rising king was being left on an island. It's the Hollywood way. You are supported until you become a liability. And in 2026, there is no bigger liability than a scandal involving health, secrecy, and the alleged endangerment of a beloved icon like Teyana Taylor. The silent gallows were built, and the industry was just waiting to see who would pull the lever. Would it be a leaked document? A formal lawsuit? Or would the silence continue until the careers of both stars were simply eroded by the weight of the unsaid? The tension was palpable at every industry event, every Black Women in Hollywood brunch, and every awards show after-party. But then, something happened that no one saw coming. Just as the narrative seemed set in stone, Teyana as the tragic victim, Aaron as the deceptive villain, a new voice entered the conversation. It didn't come from a press release or a lawyer. It came from a deep-dive YouTube channel that unearthed a clip from an interview Aaron Pierre gave in the UK years before he was a household name. In the clip, a younger Aaron speaks candidly about a life-altering health journey he went through in his early 20s. He doesn't name a specific condition, but he talks about stigma, fear, and the importance of radical transparency in a world that wants to shame you for things you can't control. He speaks about the heavy weight of carrying a secret, and how he made a vow to always be honest with those he loves. Suddenly, the timeline shifted. If Aaron had been public, or at least semi-public, about a health struggle years ago, how could Teyana claim she was blindsided? Or, even more controversially, did the accusation come not from his status, but from his lack of transparency with her specifically? The internet, ever the fickle beast, began to turn its gaze toward Teyana. Was she truly a victim? Or was she weaponizing a known truth during a bitter breakup? Then came the secondary twist. A series of leaked text messages, again, unverified, began to appear on high-traffic gossip blogs. In these messages, the tone isn't one of fear for health, but of fury over a publicity contract. A new theory began to emerge. The entire relationship might have been a PR man's gone wrong, a strategic alliance to boost both their profiles during a critical year of releases. According to this new, darker theory, the health accusation wasn't a discovery, it was a weapon used when the contract was breached. Did Aaron Pierre try to end the arrangement early, prompting a scorched earth response from Teyana's camp? Or was the health crisis real? And the PR man's theory just a way for his team to muddy the waters and protect his massive Disney and DC contracts? The conversation shifted from what did he do to her, to what are they doing to each other? A resurfaced video of the two on a red carpet in London was analyzed by body language experts. They pointed to Teyana's forced smile and Aaron's protective but distant stance. Was the love real, or was it a masterpiece of performance art that spiraled out of control when real emotions and real secrets got involved? The public was left in a state of cognitive dissonance. On one hand, you had the raw, sobbing woman on the live stream. On the other, you had the polished, professional actor who had spoken about transparency years ago. Could both be true? Could a relationship be both a publicity stunt and a deeply personal tragedy? The twist didn't provide answers. It only deepened the mystery, turning a celebrity breakup into a psychological thriller where every player has a motive and no one is telling the whole truth. As the dust begins to settle on this explosive chapter of Hollywood history, we are left standing in the wreckage of two major legacies. The image of the apple pie and the cup of tea has been replaced by a landscape of legal threats, emotional wreckage, and a culture that demands to know the most intimate details of a person's medical history. The safe space has been strip-searched by the public, and nothing remains of the privacy they once claimed to cherish. Teyana Taylor remains a symbol of the unarmored woman, a mother fighting for her peace and her children. But as the rumors of strategic takedowns and PR contracts continue to swirl, some are asking, is she the victim she claims to be? Or is she now using her own armor to crush the man she once called her prize? Her recent Golden Globe win for one battle after another has been inextricably linked to this scandal, for better or for worse. And Aaron Pierre, the man who would be king, the voice of a generation, is he a victim of a narrative he can't control? Is he a man whose past was weaponized against his future? Or is he a man whose secrets finally caught up to his stardom? With his career at an all-time high, the stakes couldn't be more lethal. One wrong move, one leaked record, and the sunshine could be permanently eclipsed. The internet is still exploding, but the echoes are getting darker. Was this a genuine health tragedy that put a family at risk? Or was it a high-level industry strategy that went off the rails during a bitter negotiation? Is this the end of the road for the Mufasa star's reign, or just the beginning of a long, painful redemption arc that will see him reclaim his crown? One thing is certain, the safe space is gone. The mirrors are shattered. And in the world of high-stakes celebrity controversy, the only thing more dangerous than a lie is a truth that was never meant to be told. What do you think? Was it all love, or was it all strategy? Is the internet right to demand answers, or have we gone too far? Let us know your theories in the comments below. This is a developing story, and you won't want to miss what comes next.